Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. You're watching the PCC Airfoils Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. PCC Airfoils, keeping the engines of change moving forward. Booyah!
Hello, everybody on WKYC. Here we are on the PCC Airfoils Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I'm Adam the Bull, and today we got a lot to get to. We got a wild stat about Jim Schwartz against rookie quarterbacks. Jason?
I'm Jason Lloyd. Deshaun Watson trending toward playing on Sunday. Is that a surprise? We're going to talk about it. G.
I'm G. Bush, leader of the Kool-Aid Mafia, and I will tell you that there might be a Cedric Tillman sighting today or on Sunday. Let's go, McNuggets.
And I'm Mikey McNuggets, and I'm going to tell you, it's really hard to put together a rundown for a YouTube show and a TV show when you don't know who's going to play quarterback for either team until 3 minutes before you go on air. So thank you, Browns, for making it look a little clearer.
In the 3 minutes between the end of our YouTube show, guys, and the beginning of our WKYC show with the fine folks here, we blew up our entire plan for what will take them behind the scenes was the A block. Ooh, that's very fancy, schmancy. We've blown up the A block because we got word just in the last half hour, guys, that nothing official, but Deshaun Watson taking all the first team reps, and it seems, Jason, that he is trending toward playing this Sunday.
I don't agree with it. I think it's a bad call. I'd give him another week of rest. It may not make that much of a difference, but it certainly can't hurt. And the Browns should be able to beat the Cardinals with either P.J. Walker or Deshaun Watson at quarterback. I'd give him the extra week of rest and bring him back for Baltimore-Pittsburgh, which really is going to go a long way in determining this division.
Well, listen, I look at this situation with Deshaun Watson, and I'm looking at it like, hey, look, bro, if you come back and you want to mess around, he could be hurt again. And if he does come back and he does get hurt, I think the Cleveland Browns need to put him on a 4-game IR. I think the team deserves to know who's going to be at quarterback. I think they also can't afford to pull P.J. Walker back out of that mix. And I think they got to go to a veteran if Deshaun Watson can't get through this game. I think if he is going to play, I think everybody's best case scenario is Deshaun Watson plays in the game. He hands the ball off a lot. He may get a couple yards, maybe a touchdown. But the goal is to make sure that he comes out of this game unscathed and does not have any setbacks in his shoulder. So I think that's what we should be all hoping and praying for in terms of expecting from Deshaun Watson. Bull.
Guys, I am very excited about this. That my excitement level for this game has just gone up. Now, am I overly confident that Deshaun Watson is going to make it through the game, let alone play at a high level? No, I'm not overly confident. But the fact that he's playing gives me a chance that could happen. And I think, listen, it's hard to trust the Browns on this situation because the way it's been handled, at least publicly, from day one when he got hurt against the Titans has been pretty bad. However, I'm going to go under the assumption, you know what happens when you assume, it can be bad sometimes, but I'm going to choose to go under the assumption that the Browns medical staff and Deshaun Watson have decided that, hey, listen, his shoulder is as good as it's going to be this year. It's not perfect, but it's not going to be perfect until after the season. It's not going to get any better if he rests 1 or 2 more weeks. We either have to play him at some point or not. If he feels confident in playing and the team feels, hey, yeah, it could get worse, but it also could get worse if he plays next week or the week after. At this point, what's the point of waiting? If it goes badly, at least it happens with Arizona where you can recover from that by going to P.J. Walker or DTR or whatever the heck you want to do. And it gives you time. Because think about it this way. If you wait till next week when they're playing Baltimore, guys, and Deshaun Watson goes out like he did in Indy, 5 plays in, and it's a disaster. Well, now you're throwing in P.J. Walker into a game where he wasn't preparing all week. That's a negative, a big negative. Against Baltimore, that's probably a disaster. It probably means you're going to lose the game. Against Arizona, it's something you could bounce back from. they can still win the game with P.J. Walker coming in with very little practice because they're just so much better overall than the Cardinals. And then all right, we got to basically rule out Watson the rest of the way. We can't keep doing this. We are preparing full steam ahead for P.J. Walker. That's why, to me, I like this, guys, and I'm excited.
Well, Jason, you look at it, one of the things I think that might be spurring this on is the fact that you look at a guy like Deshaun Watson who has not had that many reps. One of the problems we came in, he was suspended 11 games last year. He had the 6 games. He did not play that much in the preseason. You get to the regular season, you've only seen one really solid game for Deshaun Watson where you say, hey, okay, that's what we paid for. So now he's had another 6 weeks off, basically. So now we can't expect him to come in and throwing strikes and darts now, can we? So I think they wanted to get him out there against the Cardinals and work off a little bit of the rust before you do get to a Ravens and a Pittsburgh game that may judge whether or not you're going to be going to the playoffs.
We'll see. I still think it's a mistake, but we talked to Tim Couch during the YouTube show, and I asked him, whose call is this ultimately, and he said it's basically going to come down to Deshaun and the medical team.
Yeah.
Medical's already cleared him, though. It's up to when Deshaun feels ready to play. So clearly Deshaun's told him this week, from the looks of things at least, Deshaun's told him, I'm ready to go again, and now I guess we'll roll him out Sunday and see what it looks like.
True or not, when Deshaun last spoke, he said, hey, I got to listen to the medical people.
Right.
I got to listen to my body. I came back too soon a couple of weeks ago. I mean, if he's honest about that, then maybe it's, he kind of made it seem like he knew he wasn't ready for Indianapolis.
I mean, is he ready now, though? Is he honest now, today? Like, what
I don't know. Maybe he's just saying all the right things and he's going to go out there and be a disaster. I mean, it is bad if the same thing happens that happened 2 weeks ago. The team is going to look really bad. Again, I would just rather that happen this week against Arizona than next week against Baltimore.
It very well, what's to say it doesn't happen next week against Baltimore if
Even
it doesn't
if he plays.
happen?
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is a specter that will be hanging over the Browns and fans' heads the rest of the season. It's not like he's going to be 100% at any point. I think he's really going to have to deal with the fact that he could get hit, he could fall, he could throw the ball, and his shoulder could be re-injured. So you got to take that risk a little bit, but the Browns are too good not to go into this season and the rest of the season not going for it all.
I don't think any of us are expecting Deshaun Watson to be at his best. At this point, I don't even know what his best is anymore. However, as bad as he played last year, I mean, off the top of my head, I would say all of his performances last year, were any of them any worse than P.J. Walker's played in these 3 games?
Houston last year,
That
his
was
first
bad.
game back was
Okay, so but 5
Throw
of the,
that one out.
but 5 of the 6 last year
But if
were not. That was a P.J. Walker level start, fair. But the rest, and that was his first game, obviously, in almost 2 years.
Right.
But the rest of them were all better than a diminished Deshaun Watson is still probably better than P.J. Walker
at least
if he can throw the football.
if he can throw the football. Yeah.
especially from a decision standpoint. I mean, you think about one touchdown, and P.J. Walker had 5-6 turnovers, but he could have had more turnovers than that. It could have been easy more turnovers. The guys dropped the interception, or he got lucky in different places where guys dropped picks. But I look at it like this. I will give you this. This game is much more entertaining on paper right now.
Yeah.
I had the straight face. I was not drinking the Kool-Aid at all. But one thing Deshaun Watson always brings to the table, he does bring that cachet, that star power. So now I'm interested in seeing, can he bounce back and get the Browns back on track offensively?
Is there part of you that wants Kyler Murray to play too? Just because it makes it a more interesting game? Or,
sure.
Or no, because the Browns have a better chance of winning if he doesn't play.
I want to see him. Jason said it earlier. If you thought Deshaun Watson was rusty after him coming off from the Houston Texans, Kyler Murray coming off an ACL with no preseason, no training camp, no nothing.
Yeah.
He's coming. He might throw you 2 or 3 interceptions and get a couple sacks. I like that.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier in the week I saw that Josh Allen wasn't practicing against they're playing the Bengals this week, and I'm like, well, I want Josh Allen to play. Maybe we're crazy. We're probably the minority because I think a lot of fans are like, oh, I don't want a good player to play. I like when the good players play each other.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray versus Deshaun Watson is a lot more exciting than P.J. Walker against Clayton
Tune.
Right? I mean, that's a lot more fun. But I don't know. I mean, listen, the Browns in this game and really the whole season are going to be playing with fire every time Deshaun Watson is on the field. And that's why it still remains a little surprising that they haven't brought in another veteran quarterback.
Well,
Do we think that ship has sailed completely? Do we think there's any chance?
No.
If they're going to bring in a free agent, none. Even
it
if
would have happened
Watson,
already.
what if Watson's out for the year?
I mean, if he suffers another injury and he's out for the year,
Yeah.
I guess you have to then look at it. In which case, the organization's open for criticism because they had plenty of other opportunities to upgrade that spot, knowing they were vulnerable there. They had exposure there, and they didn't do anything to address it.
Yeah, I mean, you got DTR back. I would expect him to go back to DTR if Deshaun Watson was long-term put on the IR and wasn't able to play the rest of this year. Because at least I think DTR has a higher ceiling than P.J. Walker. He's a little more athletic than P.J. Walker. And you named him, you saw enough of him to say he's our backup. So at some point.
Well, P.J. Walker's ceiling is touching his
I don't
head
know
right
that
now.
we know DTR has a higher ceiling. We haven't seen anything, but we know P.J. Walker's ceiling is about where the floor is. It is what it is.
He's got
You're
lay
walking
down.
like this.
Yeah.
You're walking like
He
this.
got the drop ceiling. You know, the ceiling that come down, it's a crawl space. It ain't an attic. You just crawl around up there.
Yeah, well, the good news is we didn't know when the YouTube show started today at 11 o'clock who was going to start. We still don't know for sure at 12:41 and change. What we do know is that it is trending in the direction of Deshaun Watson being the starter this week. Obviously, stick with us, folks. If you don't know, we do shorts on YouTube, and if there's breaking news, when there was trades, when Donovan Peoples-Jones got traded, Mikey threw up a short. When the Browns didn't trade for quarterback, I threw up a short on YouTube. We're constantly hitting you with stuff, so make sure you're subscribed to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. Coming up, when we come back from this break, gotta tell you, this is a wild stat, shocking, about Jim Schwartz against rookie quarterback. It's going to blow your mind. This is the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, brought to you by PCC Airport. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Well, guys, Jim Schwartz is a legendary defensive coordinator in the NFL. And so far, he's done an amazing job for the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are one of the best defenses in the league. But how has he done against rookie quarterbacks? The answer to that question is going to surprise you. To give us that answer, here's our own Mikey McNuggets.
Yeah, well, you would think rookie quarterbacks against a great defensive mind would favor Jim Schwartz, but you go back the last couple of years, and rookie quarterbacks have had way more success against the Jim Schwartz defense than you would expect. I went back to the last 6, so dating back to 2019, and he's faced 6 rookie quarterbacks. And despite the fact that Jim Schwartz's teams have a 3-2-1 record, those rookie quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones, and Dwayne Haskins are averaging 293 passing yards per game, 2 touchdowns, and only half an interception against. And to give you a little context, and just in terms of passing yards, Mac Jones and Zach Wilson threw more passing yards in that game against Jim Schwartz their rookie year than they did any other game as a rookie, and only Dwayne Haskins wasn't in the top 5 of most yards against the Jim Schwartz defense as they had in terms of passing yards in their entire rookie season. So, to me, it's a bit surprising these rooks have had success against a wily vet like Schwartz.
I don't care.
Meaningless stat?
Meaningless
Coincidence?
stat. Here's why.
Yeah.
Read those names again. Do you have them? Read all those names again.
Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Dwayne Haskins, and Daniel Jones.
All first-round picks. A lot of them number 1 overall.
Yeah,
picks.
but some of those are really bad players.
Some of them are, but some,
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Burrow's not. Mac Jones was decent his rookie year. That was his best year. Was his rookie year. You're talking in Clayton Tune. If it's Clayton Tune, you're talking about a 5th-round guy taking 139th overall, making his first start. That's a lot different than some of these other names we're talking about. I'm not worried about it at all. I think if it's Clayton Tune, the Browns will be just fine.
Yeah, here's the reason I'm not looking too far into it, because all those teams that Jim Schwartz had, they ain't had no Myles Garrett. So, and plus you look at
he had a lot of really good players, though.
He did, but that's Myles Garrett, though. It's at that point where we start to put some respect on Myles Garrett's name, because he's shown that he can wreck a game by himself. And I don't know how many of those yards came when they were down and they were throwing the ball a lot. Was it garbage time? Did they have to throw the ball? I don't know. I don't look too far into it. I think that this defense is a different place at a different time. And I think they get it done.
It is interesting. It's fascinating. The numbers.
I mean, there's got to be something to it. And by the way, I know they were first-round picks, although Daniel Jones was
first-round picks.
But Haskins, who obviously sadly passed away, Mac Jones, and Zach Wilson. They're all bad quarterbacks. Or it has to get
They
one
had
bad
spots early on during the first.
Not Zach.
Zach's
Not Zach
never
Wilson.
looked good. He's been
Mac
terrible.
Jones did look better his rookie year.
Yeah, he had a
but
decent rookie
Trevor
year.
Lawrence and Burrow weren't the quarterbacks they are now in their rookie
but they're still
seasons.
talented quarterbacks.
Those two in particular, yes. But it is surprising that all of those guys.
Well, in a collective, it's a
Yeah.
cumulative. Like if you break it out and look at the numbers, did Zach Wilson have a great day? Probably not. But Joe Burrow.
No, he did. Zach Wilson threw for over 300 yards, didn't he?
Oh, he did?
Zach Wilson, 297, the
21
most
to 34.
yards.
All right, I
there was a
take it all
rookie.
back. Browns are in trouble.
I don't. I ultimately agree that Clayton Tune, it's his. I don't know if any of those were their first NFL start.
Right.
None of them were the first start of their career for the Rams.
That's a huge difference.
Now,
too.
those were mostly bad teams. Remember, the Bengals in Burrow's rookie year were bad. They finished, and he got hurt at the
Jaguars
end
were
of the year.
terrible. Trevor's rookie year.
Yeah, Patriots were decent.
Yeah.
I mean, Mac Jones, his first year, put 40 on us at New England.
Hey, Mac Jones, his rookie year, we all thought, well, Belichick did it again.
Oh, I
Here
did.
they go
A lot of
again.
people
A lot of
did.
people
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
He played decently his rookie year, but anyway. All right, when we come back, we've talked a lot about the Browns quarterback situation. We now think it's going to be Deshaun Watson. But what about the Cardinals? Is there an advantage for the Cardinals if Kyler Murray happens to play over Clayton Tune? That next on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We are back on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and we have some breaking news. Mikey McNuggets, tell our WKYC audience, what is this? I don't even know what the breaking news is. What do we got?
It is official. The Browns with
Have named Deshaun Watson the starter.
It was a terribly worded tweet from Ian Rappaport, but the Browns have officially named Deshaun Watson the starter for Sunday's game against Arizona.
Breaking
A terrible
news.
worded tweet. Ian Rappaport,
Yeah.
be better, but Deshaun Watson is the starter.
It is official. I obviously was trending that way for the last half hour, guys. It's official. We've already talked about it. Let's wrap up our Deshaun Watson now starting now. It's official.
Who's the
Some
quarterback
quick
he will
thoughts.
face? Oh, you want to
Yeah,
talk?
real quick thoughts, and then we'll get to who he'll face.
I disagree with the decision. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm
G,
interested.
excited?
I'm interested in watching it. I'll say that to say the least.
Let's go. I didn't buy the 2 weeks after he had to leave the game with a dead arm against the Colts, he'd be ready to start this week. But I'm kind of excited. There you go. Ian Rappaport saying it's official. He's going to start. He has no game status. What that means is no injury status. I assume he's not on the injury report. Yes.
Also,
Mike.
other injury news. David Bell out. DeJuan Jones questionable. Greg Newsome out. Alex Wright out. Deshaun Watson will start.
Yeah. Alex Wright, I don't care. David Bell, I don't care.
Hello, Cedric Tillman. Come on in.
Let's go. Let's see what Cedric Tillman's got. I'm excited about that, guys. You excited about Cedric Tillman?
Yeah, I wish he would have forced his way on the field earlier because
Yes.
it's not like there's anyone doing anything in front of him.
Right.
But now is an opportunity for him to show that he can be a part of this offense.
You know, we played Fence Riders the other day, and we were talking about Cedric Tillman, and you and I both said we didn't think he'd have a catch. I think I'm going to change my mind now.
Yeah, can we change our mind? I
Yeah.
mean, he's
Nope.
going to be in the top three. He's going to be in that top three.
Yeah, Marquise Goodwin and he will get the third, the third snap, the third targets behind the top two guys and the tight end. All right, real quick, let's get to the Cardinals quarterback situation. We have a definitive answer on the Browns. Deshaun Watson's going to start. We think it's going to be Clayton Tune for Arizona. What about that, though? Do you think it might be? You think they'll shock us with Kyler Murray last second? What do you think?
I would lean towards a no. Here's the reason why. I look, that Browns defense can get after you with a quarterback wise. They don't have to officially have to take him off, I believe, IR or whatever until Wednesday. I think they give him all the rest of this week. They give him to Wednesday. They activate him, and he makes his first start next week. And I don't think they want to do that on the road today. I would lean towards Clayton Tune.
The Cardinals aren't playing for anything this year. It doesn't make any sense to throw Murray back in against a pretty good defense that knows how to get after it. Do you really want Kyler Murray to see Myles Garrett in his first start in over a year? Sit him for another week. I think it's going to be the rookie.
You guys are crazy. If I'm the Cardinals, I've got nothing to lose. So why wouldn't I play Kyler Murray? It's not a Deshaun Watson situation where he just had the injury a few weeks ago. The injury's not a factor here. He had the injury a year ago. He's fine. The only question is he too rusty to play? Who cares if he's too rusty to play? If he plays the worst game of his career, it doesn't matter. They stink anyway. They're not going anywhere. If I'm the Cardinals, I want to see my best player, probably, certainly my best quarterback, get on the field as soon as possible. And if I'm the Cardinals, I'm not saying anything. I'm letting everybody believe it's Clayton Tune, and I am going to play Kyler Murray. Mike, you got to play about right now.
Yeah, Jonathan Gannon said he will not name a starter until he's on the flight heading to Cleveland.
There you
So
go.
he is not willing to make the same.
I think it's smart.
Yeah, so we don't know who it'll be. Real quick, guys, if you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, well, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up. Plus, full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more.
We need to make our predictions on who's going to win Browns Cardinals this Sunday. We've done it with pre-written headlines, and you'll find out who's got what happening in this game next on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Hello, everybody watching on Channel 3 WKYC and the WKYC app. This is the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. No better sports talk in all the land. Let's get to Jason. Pre-written headlines. Jason, you're first up. What is your prediction for the game, and what's your pre-written headline?
I don't care what Jonathan Gannon has to say on the plane. I already know who's going to start. Cards can't carry a tune.
Okay.
Browns bury rookie quarterback Clayton Tune, 17-10 win. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I wasn't really sure when I wrote this how the Browns were going to go, if it was going to be Deshaun or if it was going to be P.J. Walker. Ultimately, I don't think it matters. I think the Browns can win this game with either guy. It's part of the reason why I think they should sit Deshaun and play P.J. for one more week. But the Cardinals, if they run out a rookie fifth-round pick, I don't care about the numbers of Schwartz against rookie quarterbacks. Those were first-round picks. This is a fifth-rounder making his first start. I think he's going to be overmatched and overwhelmed in Cleveland. Browns get a win, get back on track.
Remember, we wrote all these headlines before we knew that Deshaun Watson was going to play, so that may factor into some of them. So let's get to my headline next there, Mikey McNuggets. Here we go. Browns defense plays sweet music. Cleveland tunes up rookie quarterback with 5 sacks and 3 forced turnovers in a big-time win, 27-9. I think I originally said 27-10. I'm going 27-9. No touchdowns for the Cardinals in this game. They got a good kicker in Matt Prater. He's going to make 3 field goals. The Browns win going away. Deshaun Watson plays a serviceable game, and the Browns win handily.
Yeah, man. Listen, G. Bush up next. Hey, listen, let's get the Kool-Aid out. Listen, it said no Watson, no offense, no problem. Listen, Deshaun Watson decided to show up and go ahead and get on the team. So let's go ahead and do that. But it's not about Deshaun Watson. It's about the defense. Browns defense smothers the Cardinals in a 17-9 win. As Bull said, 3 field goals only for the Cardinals. And it might be a couple more points now that Deshaun Watson's on the train. McNuggets, what do you got?
So last week we all picked Seattle to win, and we were all right. And when unanimous things happen on this show, we're never right. So let's go back-to-back weeks of being unanimously correct, because I am also predicting the Browns to win. How about Angry Birds, no match for Miles? R.I.P. to the Cardinals' 2023 playoff hopes and the best iPhone game ever created.
That's the best game ever created?
Angry Birds, hands down, the best game ever created.
I have never
I've
played
never
Angry
played
Birds.
it. Never
G,
played
have you
it.
played Angry Birds?
No, I played Tetris.
That's called being old.
Yeah, Tetris.
No
We don't-
offense, guys.
We don't do that.
Really?
Maybe Pac-Man.
Yeah.
So you think you're cool because you play Angry Birds?
Earl and Anthony, real quick, hop on the mic. Did you guys play Angry Birds?
Angry Birds is the best. I'm with Mike on this one.
What about like Candy Crush?
I
thought
confirm on
was the
that.
game.
Angry Birds is the stuff.
Candy Crush is the greatest of all time statistically.
Listen, if you're playing games on your phone, you're using your phone too much. You should
Well,
be
you were
like
not in-
me
you were not
and
in
just
college.
circle through Instagram Reels for an hour.
Yeah,
That's really productive time.
So Deshaun Watson is starting, though. Real quick, how many yards will he throw for and how many touchdowns on Sunday?
I've got him for 201 and a touchdown.
189 and 0.
I'm going to go with The Price is Right, $1.
There you go.
You're going under
Folks,
us.
if you haven't watched our show before, where have you been? We've been on for almost a year and a half. We appreciate that you are with us here on WKYC Channel 3, and we hope you will join us when we are on every weekday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You'll get alerts every time we're on. We'll jump in with breaking news and a whole lot more. So thank you for joining us today.
And one last thing, myself, Bull, and G will be at the Muni Live tailgate
Yeah,
this weekend.
come
So
see
if
us.
you
Join us
have
at the Muni Live.
a tailgate you want us to hit, check out, hit up, whatever. Send us a DM, send us a tweet, an email, and we will be there on Sunday morning. Go Browns.
And
Yes,
we
sir.
want to eat your food. We're going to eat your food. So,
Yes.
G and I can eat a lot, so you better have a lot of food there ready for us to
Have
go.
some for the street team.
You've been watching the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend.
Peace.